everyone, it's Icy, and while this might seem kind of random, I figured it was time to toss up a video about dealing with save files for Pokemon Reborn, Pokemon Rejuvenation, and potentially other Pokemon games that were created with RPG Maker. I'll also throw out a few other ways you could troubleshoot issues with save files and just game technicalities in general. The reason I'm doing this is I actually have a few comments here and there asking me for help with technical difficulties with the games, and I'm not someone who is that great with RPG Maker, so I probably couldn't solve these issues in a generic way. However, I could tell you how to go back to previous save files or how to find somebody that could potentially help you out. So hopefully this will help those people out and others somewhat. I also want to point out, before even bothering with moving back to an older save, since we're on the topic of save files, first off, you might want to research whatever problem you're having. This might seem like common sense to some people, you know, just Google it, right? That's the easiest solution. But also, if you're familiar with the site that the developer of the game uploads their content to, you want to check that out and see if there's any solutions, such as patches or other people having the same problem and whatnot. I just want to put that out there just in case some people freak out immediately as they have an issue and they kind of forget to do this, maybe. But anyways, on to save files. I'm going to start off with Windows because that's what I have and that's what I'm most familiar with. So the Reborn site actually has a straight up guide on here on how to find it, but if you scroll down, it's typically easier to find it in the C drive. Users, your username, save games, Pokemon Reborn, game.rxdata. That's typically where you'll find it. I don't really think there's any other way it could end up in any other place. If you open up your File Explorer and you put that into the address bar and you search it, you'll end up here. And as you can see, I have a ton of save files. You'll have to ignore the fact that most of these open up with Notepad. So your game, Pokemon Reborn, I believe backs up 50 save files naturally. Different games do different amount of save files. So I noticed I have Insurgents on here from ages ago, and it seems to do only 3 backups. But I know that Reborn and Rejuvenation do 50 backups naturally. So if you want to manage different save files for games like Reborn that don't give you the option to have different ones, what you would do is you would actually go down here, and the game that's going to be in use is just going to be titled Game. It's not going to have any other titles such as your time and your badges and so forth. It's just going to be named Game. So suppose I don't want to mess with this at all right now. Just name it literally anything, and then you could name any of these backup files Game, and you'd be good to go. Also, you're probably wondering, why do I have so many backup files, and how do I have so many backup files? Mods. Mods are the answer. And I will actually link you to the mods that I use for both Pokemon Reborn and Rejuvenation that allow me to have way more backup files than I probably should. I actually like those. The only issue with that is you might want to clean out some of your older save files in case you're not using them. But that's pretty much how to find your save file on a Windows PC. Now it's time for Mac. So I don't have a Mac, but instead I managed to do a little bit of research and I figured out how you could manage this. So there's a couple of methods. These methods aren't supposed to work according to another forum post, but I'm just going to put this out here just in case they do work again in the future, or in case anybody has them downloaded and somehow still working. But right here, it states there's 2 methods. There's the wine method and the wineskin method. And if you scroll down, they have a step that's dedicated to telling you how to locate your save file. So if you're using wine, you would be looking in your File Explorer through Wine Files, the C drive, users, your name, and then saved games. And that would probably go for any RPG Maker games if you're using Wine. So if you're using Wineskin, there's a couple of things. This is confusing. So for Wineskin, it would say once you've saved in Reborn, to locate your save game, right, / double click your Pokemon Reborn wrapper, click Show Package Contents, then follow the path of the C drive, users, Wineskin, and save games. And for some reason this step is put down there twice. But hopefully that helps if you have Wineskin, but there's some bad news. According to this post on the forums here, currently Wine and Wineskin aren't compatible with the Max Catalina update, so if you have that, it's not going to work for you, apparently. There are these solutions here, but I searched a lot and I could not find any way to figure out how to manage your save files with either the VirtualBox or whatever the heck this one is. I'm going to go out and assume slightly that the pathing towards finding the save files for either the VirtualBox or the alternative program down here is going to be similar to Wine and Wineskin, but I can't really say. I've done as much research as I can, and in general, I have no experience with Max. They're very, very confusing towards me, so I did my best here. So now that I've shown you how to actually access your save file, there's a couple things you can do with it. Obviously, you could retitle one of the backup saves and use that if anything happens, but there's also a couple of threads on the Pokemon Reborn forums, one for Reborn itself and one for Rejuvenation, where you can actually upload your save file here, and if you're patient enough, someone might come and help you. Maybe. You're gonna need a forum account on the Reborn forums, of course, but once you have that, all you have to do is attach it using the reply button. Down in this section right here, there's a little spot that says direct files here to attach, and you basically just drop your save file there, you tell them what's wrong, and hopefully, again, if you're patient enough, someone will come along and help you. They'll fix your save file, and then they will drop it back down here in their reply, and you can download that and put it into place and play from there. I really hope, though, that when you do this, be grateful, be thankful, and be kind to these people as well as being patient. Just showing off the Rejuvenation version of this thread, it's a little bit slower than the Reborn version, but you can still get help here occasionally. You just have to be really, really extra patient. Eventually, someone will hopefully come to your aid. So, for the most part, that's all I've got. There's one final thing I want to make a short mention of, though. One last thing that I wanted to mention is that with the use of RPG Maker, you could essentially God mode your game file if you wanted to, and that would pretty much allow you to do anything you wanted to do to it, as long as you're knowledgeable enough about it. One of the main things you could do with this is obviously move yourself through walls, which is pretty simple and easy to do. However, we're not going to talk about this because, unfortunately, setting up RPG Maker with these games is a bit of a complicated topic, per se. And there's an easier solution, at least for Reborn. A much easier way of actually accessing God mode would be through mods. And so in this mod pack that I'm going to link in the description is for Reborn, and in its additional option section there is a mod called Show Debug Menu. And it basically offers you the same options that you would get if you had Pokemon Essentials and RPG Maker and you'd opened up the game through there. So you could do things such as walking through walls or adding things to your game save file and whatnot. Unfortunately for Rejuvenation, I couldn't find such a mod. Here, this is the topic for all of the mods for Rejuvenation. It's all packed into one nice, neat little topic. And previously, they did actually put the debug menu mod on this thread. However, I believe it's been removed since then due to the fact that apparently Jan, the developer for Rejuvenation, isn't too fond of people using it on his games. So it was removed out of respect for the developer. Which is why I have such a hard time actually finding it. Does that mean it's not out there? Yeah, you might have to look really, really hard for it. But I probably couldn't help you find it. But either way, using these debug menu mods, you could add things to your game if they're missing. You could walk through walls in case you got stuck in a really awkward place and you just can't move your character at all. And there's some other neat little solutions that you could potentially use them for. But anyways, thank you for watching. I hope this helps. I'm really not the biggest expert on this subject, but I tried my best. I really do hope it helps anyone out that might be in any sort of situation where they're having technical difficulties with these games. Again, thank you for watching, and I will catch you all later. Peace.